welcome back to the Mancalorians, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Jordan, that is Aaron, and this is episode 8. Wow, we are officially 24 hours or so since the last episode, episode 5 of the Acolyte. We've got a lot to unpack, but just before we get stuck into that, just a quick reminder, if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to us, please comment, share, like. We've got quite a few, 1 or 2 different followers the last day or two. So yeah, really appreciate that, so thank you so much. Again, all of our links to our socials and everything are all in the comments and the description below. You can also follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. at the Mancalorians. Come and get involved. And yeah, we really do appreciate it. So, how many times have you watched the episode?
I've watched it twice.
Twice?
I don't really rewatch things though. Like, I'm not a rewatcher.
I don't, unless I absolutely love it. But yeah, I've watched it 3 times.
So you absolutely love it then?
Mate, I'm still, like I said, time of recording, filming this, it's now Thursday, so it came out yesterday in the UK. Yeah, I've watched it 3 times in the last 24 hours. I'm still blown away. It was everything and more for me. And yeah, I really don't know how they're going to top it. There's 3 episodes left. I don't think they're going to top that. I really don't.
No, I agree.
But yeah, there's still so much mystery and so many things need answering. There's still loads. I feel like there's still so much more to go. But that particular episode was, yeah, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Obviously, like I said, we've got loads to unpack, loads to get through. Yeah, where do you want to start? Should we start with the deaths or?
I mean, why? Do you know what? When I rewatched it, everything happened. Like when I watched it the first time, I thought, "Wow, I'm picking up everything." And then the second time I watched it, everything happened so fast. Like everyone just died, like instantly. Do you know what I mean? Like it just happened so fast.
Yeah. So going back to last week's episode, we were kind of previewing what we were hoping for, what we think was going to kind of happen. I think you said it was going to be it's going to be another back in time episode. It's going to be a flashback to similar to episode 3. Obviously, we've still got another flashback scene or episode to go, as we've seen in the trailer. But no, I told you it was going to be straight from the get-go, straight from episode 4, and it's going to be non-stop action. But it was just, and it was that, but it was just even better than what I thought it could be. But yeah, talking about the deaths, I did not expect. I was thinking maybe one big name was going to die. I think we touched on that last week. But 2 was just, that was heartbreaking.
I feel like, I think it was maybe like last episode or the episode before that we filmed. I feel like I spoke about how these characters that they're creating, they're doing nothing with, like we don't know them, they're not going into enough detail, and now I'm not surprised why. Like, there was no point going into that much detail with them.
Yeah, because imagine how much more gutted we would have felt if these 2 particular characters would have...
It was all of them.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Plo Koon, he got killed straight with first one.
I can't remember his name. I know he's a Caldorian or whatever it is, but I can't remember the name. I think it's a female as well.
Oh, really?
Might be wrong. But yeah, so first one, obviously the episode starts, pretty much carries on from episode 5. Really good start. And then, not long into it, poor Jecki gets lit up. Oh, God, that was... I mean, I'm more gutted about her than the other character that died as well.
I was gutted as well.
Even though we didn't see a lot of her, what we saw of her when she was like on camera and was great, and a lot of potential. And yeah, I'm really gutted she died. But what we got to see of her, especially this episode, so Daphne Keane, who plays Jecki Long, she said in an interview a few months ago to Entertainment Weekly, she said that this series we're going to see a lightsaber duel that's going to rival anything we've ever seen. And I think particularly she was talking about the Duel of the Fates or Fates of the Duel. I always get it
Duel of the Fates
in Phantom Menace, which I think is still the best. It might be Revenge of the Sith, but I think I preferred watching Duel of the Fates because watching Revenge of the Sith, especially at the time, between Obi-Wan and Anakin, that was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I killed it as a kid. So that's why I always favour the Phantom Menace. Up until Qui-Gon, obviously, that's gutted. And she wasn't wrong. She was not wrong. We saw her and Saul fight the Sith.
Reminiscent.
Or Acolyte, or whatever he is.
It was reminiscent of, well, in my opinion, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fighting Darth Maul.
Yes. 100%.
I think that's why I loved it so much.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was probably purposely done. But yeah, she was great. Her lightsaber dueling was great. Her choreography was really, really good. The best we've seen since the prequels, in my opinion. Because even though I love the originals, and I do love elements of the sequels, the choreography and the fighting is rubbish. Especially in the originals. I think in the sequels, it's kind of in between the originals and the prequels. Like in the sequels, it was better than the originals, the choreography, but it just seemed slow, and it just felt like the lightsabers were like really heavy and big, and
well, I think they were though. It wasn't like the actual prop wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah, especially Kylo Ren's, but it was just a little bit slow, and it was like the choreography in the originals was rubbish, like very slow, and it's probably the only thing for me in the original. I mean, the originals are my three favourite films. I don't think they'll ever be topped. It's probably the only thing I don't like about the originals is the choreography in the films. But yeah, the choreography in this that we've seen, especially in this episode, was great. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Jecki was really good. And I'm a bit gutted that she's gone.
I know.
Give me your thoughts.
I'm the same. I thought she, as a character, she was fantastic, and also when she had that fight, because she fights him by herself, and she does so well. Like, she actually does so well. And then, just to be ended like how she did, I mean, it was pretty epic. Like, because that was his reveal. She's the one that reveals him. She takes his mask off. She reveals who he is. Yeah, and then it's just gone. 3 stabs.
I know. At one point, she turned into like a mini Ahsoka with green lightsaber. I was like, oh, yeah, this is...
With the two of them.
This is great. Yeah, this is great. But then just before that, just before she was killed, she was fighting May. And a bit of like hand-to-hand combat there as well, which was pretty cool. That was really good.
I liked how she was like reading her right. She was like, "You've been arrested for the death of Master Undara, the death of Master Tarbin, the death of Kalnaka," and then like she had this like really smug undertone that really reminded me of Ahsoka. Is when she turned around and she was like, "And for the death of all your village." And I thought, ooh, that's deep, that. Or whatever, something like that.
Do you know who else she reminded me of? If whoever's listening or watching us now, I know you've watched it. She reminded me of thingy from Game of Thrones. What's her name?
Oh,
something like she reminded me a little bit like her.
I'm pretty sure it's Arya.
By the way. Arya Stark. Yeah, it's been that long since, and the finale just completely ruined it for me. But yeah, she reminded me a little bit of her, like a cross between her and Ahsoka, with the little comments and the little smugness, and she's tiny as well in height. She's just like this cool little warrior. She reminded me of her. But yeah, that was really good to see with Osha. And then obviously we see a fight more. Well, we then see a fight with Darth Teeth, who we'll come on to now.
Yep.
So
his official name though.
It's official name. What? The Stranger.
The Stranger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's not the first time that's happened though, is it? Because I'm pretty sure we had the Stranger in Fallen Order as well. I think that guy who you meet on Dathomir, I think he's called the Stranger too. I think.
Can't remember, but you might.
And he has a
right,
red lightsaber, so it's like I feel like that's just like a running theme, perhaps.
Interesting. So yeah, we see Sol and we then see Sol and Darth Teeth fight, and then obviously Jecki gets involved, and then just before, and then he kills Jecki, and him and then Darth Teeth and Sol are talking. Then the mask comes off, and then it's a reveal. But just before the reveal, we see Sol and Darth Teeth fighting as well. How good was that? That was great. That was so good. The choreography from both, like the camera angles, the dialogue between them, it was so dark and it was brilliant. For me, the fighting was some of the best Star Wars I think we've ever had ever. Period.
Yeah, I think it's the combat in it is by far like fantastic. Like we've had a shadow of a doubt.
It's up there with anything we've ever seen,
yeah, of course,
including the prequel.
And I know people have like a lot of love for prequels, and they have a lot of love for the originals, and I know people love those fighting scenes that are in those as well. But you can't deny that this was by far like fantastic. Like the choreography in it is amazing.
Oh, it's brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. So in the last couple of weeks, obviously we kind of been working out who Qimir might be. And we kind of said, we're probably leaning towards that he's going to be this Sith or whatever he is. And then the reveal happened, and it was him. And even though we kind of knew, we kind of worked out who it was going to be over the last couple of weeks, we still weren't 100% sure. But then when it happened, I watched it 3 times in the last 24 hours, the last day. And I still feel shocked when the reveal happens. Which is strange because I was like quite sure, we were both quite sure who it was going to be. But there's this feeling inside. It's just, I don't know what it was. I think it's because
he kills Jecki Long straight away. That was shocking. That was more shocking than his reveal.
Yeah, it was more shocking than his reveal, but his reveal was done so well because. Like, the way he changes from character from Qimir to the Sith is honestly unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something later, and it might sound ridiculous, but I'm standing by it. His reveal was awesome. I think it was so dark. The way he like carried himself and the things he was saying, I was like, yeah, this guy's great.
I don't feel like his reveal was like, obviously I was expecting it, and when it happened I actually was quite disappointed. So I'd done like a whole flip, so I was like hoping it was going to be a brand new character. Like that's what you wanted, right? And that's what I was really hoping for. Like this new person is going to be revealed, and we're all going to be like, who is he? Like what does he want? Like why has he got this like agenda? Why does he hate Sol? Like I really wanted to kind of have that. But then I'm kind of gutted that I guessed who it was going to be, and when it was revealed, I was like, "Oh man," you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but do you not just think how the reveal was done? Like after the reveal, it was just like all the Sith. I just thought it was brilliant. It's just I can't put it into words. It was just like
I think his transformation from his first character into his second.
That's what he's trying.
Yeah. So that transformation from his first character, who's this like weasel, to then this really powerful like enemy, right? Whoever he is, this dark side user, right? He done that really well. So he's almost like a whole new character anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
But I'm just gutted that it was him. Like when I seen it, I was like, "Oh God, I got it right."
I'm a little bit, but so obviously he's going by the stranger. And some of the dialogue was awesome. I made a couple of notes on my phone. Let me see if I can get some. Do you remember anything in particular that he said that caught your eye? That you went, "Oh."
I don't think I think everything he said kind of was very intriguing. Like obviously, when he was talking about Sol, the one thing that I did really like was probably the quote when he says about when Sol's like, "What master hides his face," and he says something like, "Well, you tell me." Like,
yeah, I've got this up. So the exact quote was, "What master hides his face from his pupil?" And then he says back to Sol, "You tell me." Ooh, what a line!
But that's got like the subtext underneath that is this like
meaning behind.
Yeah, and
meaning behind.
There's a lot of meaning. Like and it's like, well, he knows Sol. Like this is what I was saying in that our last episode. Like he has a relationship with Osha and May. Hence why he just like flings her away and doesn't fight her. Right.
Laptop.
It's a good job wearing pants. So you know, obviously, hey, was that me? Did I do that when I was like, boom, and then your laptop fell?
I didn't click onto that.
I've got it. Yeah, so obviously there's like a weird relationship there, right? And then he obviously knows Sol. Like he wanted to kill them all. He kills Kalnaka. Like he knows them because what the first thing he says to Sol is, "Do you not recognize me?" And then Sol's like take off your mask or something, and he goes, "Why would I do that?" And then let you read my thoughts. I know that Sol says to him, "I sense something familiar." So he knows him, and I feel like he knows him from the next flashback that we're going to see. Like he's going to be in that. I reckon he could potentially be one of Sol's first apprentices. That's my theory. And then obviously
like Osha was.
Yeah, but like his first one though. Is Osha's first apprentice?
We don't know.
So there we go. So we
Well, he wasn't. She wasn't. Osha wasn't his apprentice. He was just because obviously every Jedi master teaches younglings, and so she was in his classes.
Right.
So technically, I guess you could say he was a master.
Right. So
everyone was master.
So I think he was there. I think he was on that planet with the witches, and I think he was there for the fire. Sol's caused something, hence why Kalnaka fights him. This is my theory, right? And then he must have thought that he died.
Wait. So you think that Qimir or the stranger, Darth Teeth? Cool. Can we just stick with Darth Teeth even the whole way
Darth
through?
Teeth is fine. Darth Smile.
Right. So you think Darth Teeth is a
former apprentice of Sol that potentially died?
You also think he's another child from the witches world where Osha and May.
No, I don't. Yeah, potentially, because then there was the other line that May says, which was, well, Yord says he gets in your head, and you can see him, like he gets in your head, and then Osha says, "Oh, I only know one other person that can do that, my mother." Like, so I'm thinking, well, there you go. Like, a mother can do it, so he can do it. So there must be some sort of relation there. Like, I don't know. I've got a couple of theories, but one of them is he's on that planet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think there's definitely we'll touch on in a minute, but there's definitely a link between him and Sol. There's some kind of connection. He obviously doesn't recognize Darth Teeth in the present day because he's known about Qimir for a few weeks now.
I know.
He didn't recognize him then. So yeah, he must just know him from the past. So yeah, obviously we've got another flashback episode or scenes to go. At least one other anyway. So I'm guessing we're gonna find out then. But yeah, your theory is probably the right one. To be fair, it's the one that makes the most sense. Another one I thought of was, what if Sol and Darth Teeth are long lost brothers?
Huh.
Could be.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't think it will be, but I think I'm leaning more towards your theory, to be honest. But I just thought of it before. I thought,
Yeah.
long lost brothers kind of split up at birth, or
Well, it crossed my
I
mind
mean,
that it might have been his dad, and Saul might have been like, "I am your father." Like, all jokes
he
aside,
doesn't.
I actually thought,
Quite old enough, is he,
"You what?"
to be? He's not quite old enough to be Darth Teeth's dad.
Well, you don't know. Do we know how old they are in this?
Don't think we do.
No.
I'm just thinking about real life as well. He's only like 15 years older than him.
I know, but on camera, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it could be. It could be. But
Uh,
then I thought, why would if he's
you
a Jedi, why
father
would
and
he be?
son, that would be that would be quite shocking. But yeah, I'm leaning out of all the the three theories. I can't think of any more. I think your first one is. I'm leaning towards that. To be fair, I think he's going to be a past pupil of. Because that makes sense because he says to Saul says to him, "What master hides his face from his pupil?" That word "pupil" is a key word there, I think. And also as well, when they were talking, those two, Darth Teeth said something like, I'm paraphrasing again. He said something like, he wants an acolyte. He wants a pupil. An acolyte. So does that mean an acolyte is a pupil? Is an apprentice? Is that just another word? Must be.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's like a dark,
also
like a dark sider kind of.
Yeah, we definitely use it. So Manny Jacinto, who plays Darth Teeth, kind of, he did an interview recently. I've read it before. Another one with Entertainment Weekly, and he's just confirmed that the stranger is a Sith Lord.
He confirmed,
which he's going to completely contradict. He said, "I'm a Sith Lord," in an interview, which he's going to contradict what I'm going to get onto later.
Oh.
We're going to discuss that. I know. So yeah, so as they were talking, or just before they were talking, when the fighting stopped, Yord went off somewhere with Osha, and then he came back to fight with Saul against Darth Teeth. And then the next bombshell happened. Yord dies. I was like,
what that?
The first 15 minutes, 2 dead. I thought everyone was going to die, apart from Saul, Jecki, and Yord. And then when those 2 died as well, I was like, wow. And by the way, that scene where he kills him, when he snaps his neck, that is probably the most chilling killing we've ever seen in Star Wars ever.
Yeah, actually.
Thoughts on that?
Well, it was gruesome, especially for Disney, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was. That was like borderline R-rated.
Yeah. Even the stabbing with Jecki, though, that was even.
Was it? Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah.
3. It's like a triangle, wasn't it?
And usually it's like one stab through the stomach, and then that's it. Whereas this, you watch it from behind, you see the holes appear. So I like how they've kind of pushed that out slightly. You know, like they've kind of moved the bar up slightly, away from Disney's, no violence kind of thing. He chops off 2 guys' heads. Obviously, they hide it behind a tree, but I thought that was quite a brave move on Disney's part there.
Well, they did say that. He was it recently. Dave Filoni said that they do want to do some R-rated stuff in the future, so maybe they're just kind of testing the waters slightly. Not quite R-rated, but yeah. Any other lines that got your attention? before we kind of go a little bit more into the mystery behind this man?
I don't think so. Not that I can recall.
Okay, cool. So I made a few notes. So I put, at this point in the story, Sol, Osha, and May know that there is a Sith. Will all of them die? Will they not inform the Jedi at all? Something will obviously happen that prevents the Sith from being completely revealed. That's my thought. Because, obviously, it goes back to Ki-Adi-Mundi again. All that fiasco with Ki-Adi-Mundi over the last week about his age and this, that, and the other.
Yep.
That line that he says in The Phantom Menace, which is only 100 years later than the Acolyte. There's been no Sith for millennia or whatever. We've not seen Sith for thousands of years or whatever he said.
Yep.
So if he is a Sith, then because he says to Saul, doesn't he, Darth Teeth, that I don't have a name, but you may, or the Jedi may call me a Sith. And then he says, I'm looking for a pupil, an acolyte, blah blah blah. So is he actually a Sith, or is he just saying you could call me a Sith because I'm a Dark Force user? I've got a red lightsaber, and it's either that he doesn't know what he is, but obviously he's like the opposite of the Jedi, or is he pretending to be a Sith? Do you think he knows what he is? Like, he must have a name. His name isn't Qimir. That's just like complete deception. And his name isn't the Stranger. That's not his name. So he must have a name. And then number two, do you think he is a Sith, or do you think he's something else?
I think from the promotional material, like I sent you today, in that where it says some may call him a Sith,
yeah,
but who he is unknown, or something along those lines. I can't remember what it says fully. I'll find the quote in a sec. But I think with that in mind, and obviously what he says, yeah, I've got it here now. While some might call him a Sith, little is known of this dark sider, right? And then he says the Jedi would call me a Sith. Again, if I go back to my theory of who he is, which is that he's Saul's apprentice, then he's just a fallen Jedi, and that doesn't make him a Sith. But because he has a red lightsaber and he wants to practice using the Force outside of the Jedi Order, then he's saying to them, you would refer to me as a Sith because I'm practicing practicing the dark side away from what you want me to do. Yep. Now, going back to obviously the interview, obviously he said, I'm a Sith Lord, but we also know that some of the actors don't fully know Star Wars, really. And sometimes they misquote things that have happened or misquote things in general. So despite him saying it, it could actually just be a misquote. Like when, I don't know what his name is who plays Yord, when he says like Anakin destroys the Death Star, well, technically he doesn't. So
yeah, that was funny. Yeah, no, you're right. It could be a misquote. It could be lying to us. It could be whatever. Because it's a recent interview, or it's an interview that's just been put out the last day or two. Then yeah, it could be another lie to deceive us. But I'm not sure. Just quickly as well on the theory about them being long lost brothers potentially, right? I found out that I think it's in Arabic, Sol means sun, and Qimir, which is Kamar in Arabic, means moon. So sun and moon.
Ah, okay.
Is that, maybe they want us to think that they're lost brothers, or they want us to think that it's so many theories, which I love. So that's a nice little thing there.
I like that, but it could just mean they're opposites. It could just mean that they're opposites because the sun and moon are technically polar opposites, right?
Yeah. So that's my theory behind. That kind of strengthens my theory a little bit that they could be lost brothers, but I'm still leaning towards your theory, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't see them pulling off lost relatives find each other twice in the same series.
I mean, maybe Saul doesn't know. Maybe.
Well, actually, that's true because obviously when they're kids, they get snatched up anyway, don't they? So he wouldn't. He might not even know.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously knows Saul more than Saul knows him, so he's never forgotten Saul's face. But because he was a child when they probably knew each other, and Saul's a lot older, that's probably the reason why he doesn't know him.
Yeah, but Saul got taken when he was 4, which he says it in the flashback scene when he goes, "I got taken when I was 4." So Darth Teese might not even have been born then. Like he could have been born later on to the same parents, and then they hid him because they didn't want him to be taken potentially.
Yeah. Can we just quickly talk about the helmet, the mask?
Sorry, was me strengthening your theory not that important then?
No, not really. We'll come back to that in a moment.
Rude.
I'm sorry, I was just going through my notes and I just saw this picture and the notes that I made. So just quickly on the mask that came off and then went back on again. Very similar to Kylo Ren's a little bit. And then while we're summoning some of the combat scenes, the dueling, he was headbutting lightsabers for fun. I was like, wow, what is this? What is that made of? And it's very similar to the material that the Mancalorians use for their helmets. The Mandalorians use for their helmets. National plug there from us. And this material, I didn't know what this material was, and I've obviously found out the last day or two. So the material is called Cortosis, and it's basically a particular metal. It's got very high energy absorption. And yeah, it's basically a Jedi's kryptonite. So anything that lands on the head from a blaster as well, or from a lightsaber, literally does like nothing. Doesn't feel it, does nothing, like bounces off him. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so
headbutting lightsabers. Never seen that before.
No, I thought it was sick, but obviously when I watched it the first time, I didn't quite understand what was going on. Because I was talking to one of these lads that I know a couple of nights ago, and he was saying to me, this was before it got released as well, he wasn't happy with lightsabers because lightsabers are known to cut through everything. And then, a day later, it got released. I watched it and watched this guy headbutting lightsabers, and I thought, wow, you're actually right with what you're saying. But then, after speaking to you, I realised something. Well, just before I spoke to you, but then when I spoke to you, you mentioned the name, I thought, man, it's been done already. So I've not heard if anyone's complained about it, but realistically, like if you read the Thrawn trilogy, the super battle droids in, I think it's Alliance, I think it's called, the second book in the Thrawn trilogy, there's a secret base where the separatists are using the mine in that ore, Cortosis, yeah. They're mining that, and then they're using it to kind of put around the super battle droids. So when Anakin tries to fight them and he hits them with it, it overpowers his lightsaber, and then his lightsaber just shuts off. So, and then when someone fires a blaster at it, it kind of disperses the blaster around the whole of the super battle droid, and then just kind of does nothing to it. It just disperses all the energy, so it's all literally like nothing. Every single part of it's just like minute damage. It's weird, right? But that's what it does with like energy. So watching it in this, the second time I watched it, and obviously understanding what it was, I was like, man. And if you watch when he headbutts the lightsaber, it shuts them both off. They just both close down, like psh, gone. And they're like, what? And that's when he's fighting Jecki. She hits his arm, he blocks it, her lightsaber turns off. She's like, what the hell? She pulls out the second one, they're fighting. Next minute, she blocks the attack, and then the lightsaber turns back on, and he looks at her, and she like looks at him, and then she's just like, yeah, I got this. With the lightsaber back on. Yeah. That was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been it's been done before. I wasn't like upset about it because I've read it. Do you know what I mean? And also,
100%.
in terms of like you were talking about the Mancalorians before, yeah. I'm pretty sure in Legend when they were fighting Revan, when they had that war between the Mandalorian war and the Jedi, I'm pretty sure that's when they created out, like, it might have been Beskar then, where they created that, and that's how they were able to fight the Jedi, because that was like the defense against the lightsabers. Obviously that was in legend, and it's not been in canon yet, but this Cortosis might be the new version of that in terms of.
Yeah, I think Cortosis is from Legends. I might be wrong, but yeah, it's now canon. Just quickly, just to go back slightly. So I've just found another line from Darth Teeth on my phone. So this is really good. This so everyone's talking about with Kiadimundi the Sith, not seen them for millennia, blah blah blah. This line here, I don't know if you picked up on it. So he says to Sol just before he kills
Yord.
Yeah, or just after, he says, "She exposed me," meaning May or Osha. "So now I have to kill every single last one of you. I don't make the rules, the Jedi do, and the Jedi say I can't exist." I was like, oh, they've done that on purpose. Again, all these things link back to Kiadimundi. So really, they've not broken canon at all. Like everything they say is like.
I don't know though, because I don't think that line really, like, if it's true and he is a Sith Lord, then I kind of agree that they've kind of broken canon there, because unless Kiadimundi's that arrogant and he's like, this is not a Sith Lord, like, if the Jedi are that obnoxious, which to be fair, that would be the saving grace, like they're that obnoxious and they're so self-absorbed that they would just be like, he's not a Sith Lord. Do you know what I mean? They kind of do it with Darth Maul when Darth Maul was first kind of introduced. They're like, surely not. We've not seen Sith in like surely
Yeah, exactly.
not.
I don't think Darth Teeth is a Sith, but we'll get into that in a minute. But I just love that line. They see my face. Yeah, the Jedi say I can't exist. They see my face. They all die. That was so dark and chilling, and I just thought of that Kiadimundi line from the Phantom Menace.
But then
straight away,
he is really dark, because when he kills Jecki and he stabs her 3 times, and Jecki in it with E, right? So when he kills her, and then she falls, and so I was like, no, she was a child, and he goes, oh, is that what you call it? And I was like, oh,
yeah,
man, that's dark, man. Like,
no.
I don't know if it was like racism or if he was just saying it to be like because it was a kid
Yeah,
or it was his apprentice. But I was like, wow, man, that's dark. That
I know. So just quickly on Yord, I just did not see him dying, and I was gutted about him as well because I wanted to see more of him, especially Jecki. But like you said, it's a good job they kind of didn't show us more because we all would have been devastated even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think about his death?
Yeah, it was shocking.
And how he died. Obviously,
He was growing on me as well as a character. He was actually starting to grow on me, and then they just took him out, and I was like, man, I was kind of liking him.
Yeah, well, they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
There
was a lot of potential for them all, to be fair, and they've just kind of wiped them all out. So now, like, all the deaths of all of these Jedi, to be fair, aren't a surprise anymore.
Well, they better not kill Sol because.
Well, this is the next thing, though, isn't it? Because if he is a Sith Lord, and if we want to kind of, there's a couple of avenues they can go down, which is if Sol does survive, then it could just be they're all arrogant and they just don't see him as a Sith Lord, or he wiped them all out and kills every single one of them. And I don't mean like the whole Jedi Order. I mean all of these that's seen him, that know he's around.
That's what I said before. Like, there's. But then I think if he did that and killed everybody, so then no one would know. But then everybody back in Coruscant, like the Jedi Council, the High Council, they would know that they've just lost a load of Jedi to a Dark Force.
Yeah.
Who's got a red lightsaber. So.
Well, no, because they don't know he exists. They think it's May.
Yeah.
So.
Not sure.
They don't know. They don't actually know he exists. But obviously, we've not seen Venestra yet, where she has her light whip, so that's going to come soon as well. He might end up killing her. She might fall out of a window with a purple lightsaber.
Yeah. Right. So I've watched it 3 times, and I've loved it just as much every time. You've watched it twice. The second time, did you pick up on anything else that you didn't necessarily hear or see the first time?
There was one line that was really sassy, which I loved, actually. And the first time I watched it, I heard it, didn't really register it. The second time I watched it, I was like, ooh, that's sassy, that. And it's when he goes, why risk it now? Why risk your identity now? That's what Sol says to him. And he goes, well, I wore a mask. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was...
That tickled me.
Okay. Anything else?
No, go on. I know you're
it?
dying to say something, so go on.
Right, so it was when blah 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 blah. When it was towards the end of the episode when everything was kind of wrapping up, and I think it was the last scene or two where Darth Teeth was found or looking. Darth Teeth was looking for Osha. They're looking for May. Mm-hmm. And then he found Osha, which we'll get into in a minute.
It's the last scene.
The Kylo Ren. Yeah, the Kylo Ren theme.
The cape.
Yes,
really?
That was playing. I watch it, yeah. It's not been confirmed, but everybody else has said the same thing on Twitter that I've seen. Thousands of people have said it. And I watched it 3 times. I didn't pick up it the first time I watched it. The second time I did. And then I heard it again the third time. I was like, many percent. That is the Kylo Ren theme. That has been done purposely. Like, it has. Facts.
What we'll do?
So, my theory is, he's not a Sith. He is the founding father, or, the earliest disciple of the Knights of Ren. Okay,
there's lots of similarities now.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, because he's got the attire, that's very similar to Kylo Ren's, and obviously the helmets.
All the helmets are very similar, including Kylo's, and the fact that they played his theme. He's got to be he's got to be an out of Ren. Has to be.
I know, but do you know what though? They can't. If they do that, then they're going to take away from Kylo Ren. They're going to take Kylo Ren's theme.
What would George think? Like he's not alive. Oh no, they've destroyed George's legacy. Star Wars is ruined forever. Get a grip.
Do you know what's funny though, right? Yeah. Just on that.
Go on.
George's legacy. Like, I know people are really upset, and it's like this isn't what George wanted, but I'll tell you what, it is what George wanted, because he sold all the rights to Disney, and he gave them creative control, right? And not only that, he entrusted all his faith in Dave Filoni, taught him everything he needed to know, and we've all had faith in Dave Filoni. And this is why I said about that quote before to you. Dave Filoni has signed everything off. He's happy with this.
Yes, so let me find the quote. So it was just a screenshot I took of someone talking about Kalmaka not seeing his death on screen. Someone's like, it's a £180 million budget or $180 million budget, which is the highest budget by a mile for any Star Wars live action series so far. And someone said, and then I found out, so someone commented on Twitter, and then the writer, I can't remember her name, who wrote episode 4. She basically said it was I'll read out the quote. So she said, unfortunately, not everything gets to be included for budget and story reasons. We had an early draft that showed the fight and death scene, but it ultimately broke down the point of view of the episode in a way that I think wouldn't have worked as well. And then I later found out that Claire Keichel, she's called. She says Dave Filoni gives notes on all the scripts, so they're part of his role as chief creative officer. So basically, he has to ultimately approve them along with the rest of the Lucasfilm team.
There you go.
So there you go. Without Dave's approval, it doesn't go through.
And everyone's been happy with it. Everything he's done up to now, and now suddenly people aren't happy with this. And despite that, George Lucas entrusted all his faith in Dave Filoni, and also he signed over everything to Disney, creative control over them to do what they wanted. And I know that people aren't happy because they're like, this is an insult to George, but he was happy enough to hand it over to them. He was happy enough to trust them. And there's that much Star Wars stuff now.
He sold Lucasfilm for $4 billion.
Yeah.
He was getting on, and he thought, yeah, I've got a few ideas for the sequels, but he sold it for a reason. He wanted to get out. He wanted to have a quiet life and make less films and do less things and do other stuff. By the way, he's currently in the works of finishing his like a Lucasfilm museum, which is going to be on I think it's going to be like a proper museum.
Oh, amazing!
All Lucasfilms. Yeah, so it'll be Star Wars, Indiana Jones, I assume as well. Obviously, it's always going to be America because it's always them. He's American.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's probably finishing his museum, which is probably going to be in California or New York or something. So that'll be cool. So I think hopefully that'll be people from anyone in the public will be able to go at some point in the future. So that'll be cool. So he's currently working on that, and obviously there's been rumours the last few weeks, months that he's going to come back, but I don't think he is. And if he does, it'll be in a small capacity. So yeah,
I agree.
So yeah, I think the Kylo Ren theme.
Sorry,
the
it's taking ages. I was like,
the Kylo Ren theme was done on purpose. They know what they're doing. They're teasing something there. Maybe they're just teasing us, but I think it's a Kylo Ren, or it's a Knights of Ren origin story.
I like that.
And I think Kylo, I like that. I think he's like the founding father of the Knights of Ren.
I think I like it because we've not got anything that is Knights of Ren, really. I mean, there's probably a book out there somewhere, but we've not seen it yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is interesting. If it is the Knights of Ren origin story, then obviously there might be another 1 or 2 more seasons of the Acolyte. I think hopefully there will be, because it's doing well on Disney, and I think it's got a lot of potential. And it makes that line from Ki-Adi-Mundi stand out even more, because he's like, yeah, we've not seen the Sith for millennia. Oh, but by the way, there were these guys called the Ren, the Knights of Ren. Didn't mention that, did you know, Ki-Adi-Mundi? So, is it? It's gonna. There's still so much to unpack. There's still a lot of mystery behind it all. So, that's my theory. So, are you leaning towards that? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think I mean, I'd have to re-listen to it and find out. But
I think it was twice. It was at least once anyway that it was played. But yeah,
I want to find like a contrast between the both of them. So I'll hear one and then hear the other and see how they sound, and then we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely I think it's definitely gonna from how they look visually. I think because even Kylo Ren's helmet that he wears, his mask, even that's kind of like thrown together. Do you know what I mean? Very similar to the helmet that Darth Teefs wears.
Yeah, 100%. So then towards the end we see a little reunion with Osha and May. They have a little bit back and forth. They have a hug. And then basically May knocks Osha out, goes off, and Qimir, when the Kylo Ren theme tune played, Qimir finds Osha, who he thinks May.
Was he though?
Osha and May. So she cut her hair off with a lightsaber. I was like, that's cool, but never seen that before. And then she swaps her clothes. So Osha is now with Qimir and May's with Sol. Mm. So Qimir finds Osha thinking it's May.
We don't know that though. We don't know that he thinks that.
No, he doesn't know. Because we know. Only the audience knows that they've swapped.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be fair, May So May cut her hair to match Osha's hair, right? So Osha's lay there with no clothes and short hair. So he probably would look at her.
I'm just looking at the picture. I think she just swapped clothes with the sister.
Nah, she's got like a vest on. She's not swapped clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got like something.
It's like an undergown thing, but she said like she had short hair. So to him, May has long hair, Osha has short hair, and he looks at her on the floor, and she's got short hair, and she's also got a little tattoo on her arm. I don't know if you know, it's like a little tattoo.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like a little thing on her arm here. It's like a weird square like that goes in. It matches on both sides. It's like a cube that's cut down the middle with two triangles cut out the top and bottom. It was a weird symbol, but obviously he's kind of looking at her. To be fair, I would assume that he would think that is Osha.
Yeah, well, I think we're all assuming that he thinks that's me.
No, I think
that's
not what I said though.
You're confusing me now.
Why would he look at her with short hair, right, and think, oh, they've knocked May out and give her a haircut? Why would he think that? Like, he looks at her and it looks like Osha.
Yeah. So
Basil
is
on the ship now. He picked up little Pip.
Oh, yeah,
sniffing.
Yeah.
And then he's followed them back to the ship, and he keeps sniffing at her, sniffing the thing and sniffing at her. But no one can speak his language on the Yord, and Yord's not here no more. So it's funny how he's now on the ship, and he knows. Well, he can probably guess that that's not Osha.
Yeah, but no one can talk to him.
No one can talk to him.
So just quickly on the scene where Darth T finds Osha. Notice anything about that scene? Just as he approached her and went up to her.
Yeah, I noticed that they played the Kylo Ren theme.
What? No. Excuse me. So just after he played the theme and he found her, he kneeled down.
Mm-hmm.
He force healed her.
No, he doesn't. He just turns her over with the Force.
No, he doesn't.
He just goes like this.
No, he force heals it because the wound clears.
What wound?
But she's got a wound on her side. I'm looking at the picture.
She does have a wound on her side. Yeah.
Go back for the third time. She's got on her right side. She's got a wound, and he force heals her. They're like, oh, that's cool. We've not seen that since the sequels. The last time we saw that was between Rey and Kylo Ren in Episode 9.
I just thought he turned her over.
No. No. I mean, yeah, he could do that. But yeah, that was I picked up on that. I think I picked up on it the first time I saw it. To be fair, but obviously you need to watch it 3 times. So.
Did you pick up what he said as well? Because he said something that I think's got some significance.
I didn't write it down.
No, I didn't.
It was another good line. Yeah, I can't remember what he said. I got it written down. I don't think I do.
Either way, we'll find out. But I think it had some significance anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Another theory I have is between Darth Teeth and Osha, actual Osha.
Yep.
So in the sequels, Kylo and Rey had a really strong connection. It was a Force dyad or a dyad, which is when 2 Force-sensitive beings had a unique Force bond that was unbreakable. It's basically what a dyad is. Is it possible that Osha, because Osha said, only my mother can do that. We said it earlier, half an hour ago. I can get to someone's head. And when she was saying that to Sol, so do you think it's possible that there's a dyad between Osha and Darth Teeth. Some kind of connection there as well.
I don't know about that though. I think there's a connection there in terms of like the relationship, and you must know who she is or something along those lines. But
yeah,
I wouldn't say it's that, because he actually gets in, because Kylo Ren gets into Rey's head, but then Darth Teeth gets into May's head, because when she's running, he pops up, doesn't he?
Yeah. Just in the comics as well. I don't really follow the comics that much, but there's a Knights of Ren Star Wars comic or comics, and I don't know if it's canon or legends. But in the early disciple, the founding father of the Ren, the Knights of Ren, was called, I think he went by the name Ren. So it is Darth Teeth Ren. Could be his name, Ren.
What does Ren mean?
And he's just a knight. Ren, I don't know what it means. It's worth searching, actually. I don't know if it does mean anything, but that's what the founding father of the Knights of Ren went. That was his name, Ren. Okay. That's where the name Knights of Ren comes from, I think, anyway. I wrote that down. But yeah, I'll look into that a little bit more. But yeah. What else? See if I've got anything else written down. Anything else for you? Just before we give our final thoughts. Is this the best episode so far?
I think for the Acolyte, yes, by far. Like, this was definitely the best episode, and it didn't stop it great. I think it's really, really good. And it's left it on a bit of a cliffhanger, like what's going to happen next, which I think is great. It's not really answered that many questions, and the ones it has done, it's raised more questions now than it's answered, I guess.
That's what I love about it. There's still, like I said, there's still so much mystery. There's still so many questions that need answering, and the questions that do get answered each episode, there then becomes other questions. You're like, I feel like you're back to square one. But yeah, I agree. I think it's without a doubt the best episode so far. I'll go as far as to say I think it's the best. It could be the best ever Star Wars live action episode ever.
That's a big statement, but
it is a big statement because I love the Mandalorian. I love.
Does it rival the duel between Anakin and Ahsoka? And does it rival the scene between Obi-Wan and Vader?
It tops those two, in my opinion.
Well, I think this was an episode in itself, whereas those were more scenes rather than the episode. Do you get what I mean? And they were visually really nice, whereas this is story and everything was great. I loved the lightsabers as well. Like, I actually, because it's so dark, the lightsabers look so nice, and how they filmed everything, it's shot really well as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think it blew me away, to be honest. I think it's genuinely, like, that episode was like some of the best Star Wars we've ever seen, ever, period.
Yeah.
I might be going overboard, I might be overhyping it, I don't know. You know what I'm like sometimes, but I absolutely loved it. I think it's incredible. I don't know if it can be topped. I don't know how they're going to top it. I don't think they can. It's going to take some beating. I think there's 3 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an episode. It was just phenomenal. Yeah, episode 5's done. We've got 3 more left. What are we expecting then for the next episode? Do you think it'll be another flashback episode?
No, I think it'll be a continuation.
Right, okay.
I think we'll get the flashback. The flashback will be about Sol. So I think we'll get that flashback when, like, towards the end of this episode, it might touch upon it. Like when Sol might tell May, because he thinks it's Osha, he might tell May what he thinks. Like when he said, "I'll tell you later," I think then he'll tell her, and then the next episode, so maybe episode 7, will be that flashback. I don't know, but it might be half and half. It might not be a full.
I've got a feeling episode 6 is going to be half and half,
yeah,
or a few flashback scenes, and then present day.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling it's going to be that. I might be wrong. It might just be another full episode of But either way, I think the flashbacks are coming next.
Yeah.
And then I think the last two episodes, 7 and 8, will be present day. There'll be more fighting, and obviously we might have the little soul reveal mystery in the next episode. I'm not sure.
I think it has to come in the next episode or the one after, for like story reasons. It has to. It can't come right at the end. Surely not. Unless it does. Actually, it might. Who knows? But I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Who knows? We will see. I'm very excited, like I was last week, and it was. I'm gonna set my expectations just to be a little bit lower next week, because I just don't think episode 5 is going to be.
It won't.
Especially this season.
Have your expectations like Star Wars Outlaws. That's what you need to have them.
Oh, really high? Are you crazy? Why would I do that?
Obviously not really high.
Right, guys, if you're watching us, if you're listening to us, again, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, The Mancalorians. Please like, share, follow, comment. Let us know in the comments what you thought of episode 5, what you think of the reveal, etc., etc. If you're listening to us, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube Music as well. And again, you can also follow us on all the socials at The Mancalorians. All of our links are in the description below. And again, we appreciate everything, all the support we've had. We've got quite a few new... our Twitter base has grown quite a lot over the last week. So yeah, we really do appreciate your support. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
See you later.